welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and coming to you from a new spot today. I'm laying in my bed, just a lot of pain today, and um, super tired. So, anyway, here I am. So, not much of a background, but we'll have to deal with it. The lighting is actually better than I thought it would be. I had a feeling it might be too dark, but not bad. So let's get started with our Friday updates. So we had some high highs and some low lows. So still working on the Black Arrow. We're getting there, but but that one seems to be taking me a long time. If it takes me this long to read each classic, there might only be a few in the year. So Wonderful Husband and I did finish Dim Sum of All Fears, which is the second in the Noodle Shop mysteries. And for those of you who haven't read it, it's about Lana Lee, who is the daughter of people that run Holy Noodle Shop, and she ends up running it a lot because, um, she's the one that does a lot of the bussing tables and taking orders and things like that because her mother often has, work in the back room to do. And in this one, she's actually in charge of the noodle shop for a while because her parents have gone to see her grandmother. And while they're gone, there is a murder. And so, because one of the people who gets murdered is someone, well, they're both people she knows, so she feels like she needs to investigate. So anyway, it was really good. It'd been quite a while since I had read one of the Noodle Shop mysteries, so it was kind of nice to get back to that and to see more of the people in Asia Village. And so I really enjoyed that one. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. So the next one was the second one, I think. Da, da, da. Yeah, second one in the Bought the Farm mysteries. And this one is called Dark Side of the Moo. And this one is about Ivy, who runs the farm, along with her dog Keats. And Ivy used to work for a large corporation and was the person who hired and fired people. And she was known as, I think they called her the killer or the bulldog or something. I don't know. I don't remember now. But anyway, she could be harsh, I guess. And so she is trying to get this farm up and running and having a hard time because there's already been one murder there. And now it looks like there's a second one. She has had her colleagues from the corporation she worked for come to stay, and one of them ends up dead. And the whole thing is very hard on her because she doesn't, obviously she's upset someone was killed, but she also doesn't want it to affect, people coming to this farm that she's trying to get off the ground because she has an inn there and she has things for them to do. And it's, not looking good to have a murder there. And really love this particular series. Really enjoying it. Ivy, the main character, she's very interesting. She has a really good relationship with her best friend, Jilly. And Jilly's not really a farm person, but she's there helping Ivy, so that makes for some cute moments. And Keats, the border collie that she had adopted, he's adorable and he seems to really have a personality of his own. He, does certain things and cocks his ear a certain way or looks at her a certain way, and she feels like she knows exactly what he's saying to her. So it's been really good. So that one I gave 5 stars to. And then the next one was also another 5-star read for me. And this was a new series. It is the Magical Maine Mystery Series. And the first one was called Downward Death. So this one was about Ellie Vanderwick, and she led kind of a odd sort of life, I guess, a little off the beaten track. She is I don't know if I think she's a physical therapist or something similar to that. But she, does yoga and she does physical therapy, and she's, trying to had a business doing that. And then her grandmother passed away and she'd never met her grandmother. but they found her and told her that her grandmother had left her something, and so she went there, and her grandmother had left her her house. So the other kind of quirky things about her is she spent a long time living in her van, who she calls Mona, and she also has a pet pot-bellied pig who she calls Penelope. And the pig's adorable, and just hearing, all the things they do together is really cute and fun. And so she never knew her mother or her grandmother. And now that she's in this town where a lot of people know both of them, it's been interesting for her and sometimes awkward. And she's looking at every man that's the right age, wondering if that person could have been her father, because she doesn't know any of that. She was left, I think, at a fire station or something by her mother years ago, so she didn't know anyone in the family. And while she's there, she ends up coming across someone that she had once dated, and that also turns very awkward. And then someone ends up dying, and everyone thinks that it's her because she's new to town, and so she's really upset about that. And her last quirky little bit is the fact that when she gets upset or angry or nervous or any of those things, her hair changes color. And it'll go maybe red, or it'll go green, and sometimes all the curls kind of are really loose or really tight, and so she's trying to hide that from everyone. And she it's just a quirky thing that she has, and she doesn't really know what to do with it. So the whole story was excellent and really kind of different. I've never read a story with a pot-bellied pig, or someone who seems to have a little bit of magic going on, and lives in her van. I don't know. There's just a lot of these things that I just found really cute and interesting in the book. So that one was a 5 out of 5. And then I kind of went off track. Because I've been so tired and things, I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks. And so this one I grabbed off of probably Libby or Hoopla, one of those. Never heard of it before, but it sounded excellent, and it was called The Baking Games. Excuse me. And it's by Rachel Hanna. And I feel like I know that name, but maybe I'm getting it confused with Kristen Hanna. I don't know. But anyways, she sounded familiar. But this one's about Savannah Green, and her sister convinces her to enter these baking games. Now, she and her sister live together and have been together for a long time, ever since their mother passed away. And even before then, Savannah kind of raised her little sister. So it's really important to Savannah to win these baking games because she knows that will ensure a good future for her sister, and that's really all she cares about. And right now she is working at a grocery store bakery. I think I was trying to remember the name of the woman. Maybe it says it here. No, it doesn't. But I think it was like she's working for Big Bertha or Big Agatha or something. But anyway, she wasn't too happy about it. And so when she gets there, she discovers, though, that there are people there that she's not too fond of. One of them is Rhett, who she was in culinary school with, and he's very arrogant and has a real attitude, and she's not happy to be competing against him. And the other one is, well, one of the other ones is a guy named Connor, who she dated, and they ended up splitting up not that long ago because he didn't like the fact that her sister still lived with her and that her first priority was her sister, not him. So, and then there's a few other people that are competing as well. So it's essentially all about this competition and what goes on between all of them. And the competition has an element where the audience are also voting on who they want to stay and who they want to go. So it's 70% the judges and 30% the audience. So it does make a difference how they're presenting themselves. So I found that one excellent. It was really, I've read a few baking competition ones now, and I really like this one because it was a lot more, it was a romance, not a mystery, and I think all the other ones I've read have been mysteries. And so it was really cute, and it really had, I don't know, some interesting elements to it where, they're trying to have a private conversation where you just can't do that, and with all these cameras and microphones attached to you, and trying to bake their best, but they've got all these other things on their mind. And it was really interesting. How many times can I say interesting, right? But but I enjoyed it, and I would definitely read something else by her. I'm gonna have to look up and see what else she's written, because I really like her style of writing, and I found it was very easy to read, and kind of lighthearted. So I enjoyed that. So that one I would give 5 out of 5 as well. It was a good reading week. Um, and then we come to the not so good part of the reading week. So I started to no, I started to read Whistling Dixie in a Nor'easter by Lisa Patton. I didn't get very far. Um, I think it might be something that you would enjoy. Just because I didn't doesn't mean you wouldn't. It's got some interesting characters. It's about this woman who is living down in, I believe, Tennessee. She's very southern. She's, really enjoys living there. But her husband decides that he wants them to move to Vermont and take over this inn. Um, what I didn't like about it is the whole Southern thing was very stereotypical. But I probably could have even got past that. But it was the way he tried to convince her to move to Vermont that kind of made me cringe, and I just couldn't get past it. Um, he was um, he was trying to get her, he was trying to get her tipsy, and he was trying to use his masculine wiles on her. And it just seemed very kind of disrespectful, instead of them having a talk about it. Like, he's doing all these tricks, and it was like, I just thought wherever the relationship goes from there, I don't really want to be a part of it. So I DNF that one. So the next one, oh, one moment. Okay, so the next one was another one I got from the library. This one was an Audible from audio book. I always say Audible, but they're not all from Audible. It was an audio book. Now this one is called The Bookish Life of Nina Hill. I had such high hopes for this one. It was about this bookish, introverted woman, and I just thought, oh, that's right up my alley. But they kind of ruined it for me. So I started out, uh, Nina was living her life, and kind of secluded. And then someone shows up, and this is not a spoiler really, because it happens in the first few minutes of the book. But someone shows up and tells her that her father has passed away, and that he's left her something, she doesn't know what, and that she has all these brothers and sisters. And instead of kind of being excited, like, she didn't know them, so she can't really grieve them. But instead of being excited that she has all this family, she's actually horrified, because she is not a people person, and as far as she's concerned, more family just means more drama and more problems and more people wanting to spend time with her, and she doesn't want that. So, and like I said, you may enjoy this. Like the other one, this may be right up your aisle, and it's anything that goes on, and it's not going to bother you. But kind of I get annoyed, because a lot of times I don't think they need to put certain things in books that they do. And with this one, she went to a book club, and there is a lot of discussion about men sending pictures to women and what the women think of it, and on and on from there. So was like, no, I guess I'm done. So that was another DNF for me. So, let's see. There was one more that I just finished, and this one was called The Pharisee's Wife, and it was by Jeanette Oke, and at least I think that's how you pronounce her last name. It's Oke. Now, I haven't read her in years and years, But I did enjoy this one, and I have the other books that I have read of hers. I always enjoyed as well. So that's not the reason I haven't read her lately. But I thought it was really good. It was about Mary, who happens to be in the market and this is like takes place back in the time of Jesus. So it was about Mary who's in the market, and her scarf slips while she's talking to a vendor, and she's only 15. She's just young. And this Pharisee, Enos, looks over and sees how beautiful she is, and she quickly covers up her face. And the vendor kind of hides her away from the Pharisees because, they've been known to stone people for less. And so, anyway, after he leaves, she goes out, she does what she needs to for her parents, and then goes back where they are. And her parents have traveled all the way to, I think they're in Jerusalem, I believe. Her parents traveled all the way there because her father is disabled and he is looking for healing. And so they've heard about Jesus and they came there to find healing. And in the meantime, though, they need to get out of town because the Pharisees things are kind of amping up and it's not really a safe place for them to be. And then once they're home, it turns out that Enos the Pharisee, who saw her, has decided he wants her for his wife, even though she's really too young. So he, of course, makes it happen. He changes her name. He, has her go to live with this, they call her the Widow Mary, because of the fact that she needs to be trained to be a Pharisee's wife. And so this is all about Mary's life and what she goes through with Enos and with her faith. So it was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I would give that one 4 out of 5. So that is it for what I read. So as for what I'm watching, we've been watching the Beast Games, which we're quite enjoying. It's really, it's like a kind of like a game show, reality show sort of thing. I don't think there's too many people out there who probably have not heard of Mr. Beast, but he's a very famous YouTube star and probably does a bunch of other things I don't know about. But he puts on this show, and whoever wins ends up winning. I think it's a lot. I think it's like 500 million or 5 million, or I don't know. It's a lot of money anyway, way more than I could think about. So there's all these different challenges for the people to complete and different things for them to do. And it really is showing a lot of the different personalities of the people and what they consider important and what they don't consider important. And so, yeah, it's interesting to watch. We also watched Bargain Block New Orleans, which is a HGTV show where these two men are renovating this house in New Orleans, and it's a duplex, so they're doing both sides of it. And I guess if you live down south somewhere, maybe you've heard this term, but as a Canadian, I certainly haven't. Apparently, it was called a shotgun house because there is just a straight path from the front door to the back, and straight enough that you could fire a shotgun and go all the way through the house. So that was a new one on me, but it was interesting. And we've been watching Doc, which is another new series that's out. It's this doctor who ends up in an accident in the very first episode, and then she is okay, but she has a certain type of amnesia, and she can't remember anything for the last 8 years. So a lot can happen in 8 years. So that one's been really good. And I've been listening to Mel Robbins' podcast when I get a chance. She has a new book coming out called The Let Them Theory. And so I've been listening to some of the things on her podcast about the new book. And let's see, what am I excited about? Um, I'm excited about spending time with wonderful husband when we have nothing else we have to do and no place else we have to go. It seems like there's always doctor's appointments and stuff going on, so it'll be nice just to spend some time with him. And concerned about. I'm concerned that my pain is getting worse, and I'm concerned that I don't like taking painkillers, but of course I am. And so I don't know anyone else, if you've got chronic illness, I don't know how often you weigh what the painkillers are doing to your body versus the pain, but sometimes it's hard to know what the best thing is to do. So that is what's going on in my life. I am now going to upload this and then probably take a nap. So I hope you're having a good day and I hope you have a great weekend. All right, bye bye. Hi, this is Editing Linda. I realized after I finished everything that The Pharisee's Wife is actually an ARC from NetGalley, so thank you to them and to the author and publisher. And it comes out on March 11th. So take a look for that one if you like Jeanette Oak books or you're interested in the subject matter. I think it's something that you'd really enjoy. All right. Have a good day, friends.